From pie in the face to no place to hide. My ex's shocking gambit. It started with a pie symbol of everything I poured into our crumbling marriage. And the moment it shattered on the kitchen floor, I knew something inside me broke too. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that the man who once whispered sweet nothings would later try to snatch away the roof over my head. A house I bought and paid for with my own blood, sweat, and tears after we separated. Buckle up, because this is a story, betrayal, manipulation, and a fight for what's rightfully mine. It was just a regular evening when I came home, the weight of a long day at work still fresh. The familiar scent of our home greeted me, and for a moment, I dared to hope for a quiet evening. But that hope was quickly shattered as soon as I opened the door. I found Mark, my husband, lounging on the old brown couch, the remote in one hand and a half-empty beer in the other. Betty, he started, not even greeting me. I want to play tonight. I blinked in surprise. Mark, I just got back from work and I'm really tired. Can we have it tomorrow instead? He didn't look happy. You're home now, aren't you? It's not that hard. I remember my mother always said to be understanding and accommodating. But sometimes it felt like it was always me doing the accommodating. The apartment wasn't big, just a single bedroom. I quickly gathered the ingredients, hoping to finish the pie as soon as possible. Mark strolled into the kitchen, not trusting myself to speak. We had store-bought crust, but I knew better than to use it now. I made the pie from scratch, just like he wanted. It took me a good hour to prepare everything. The aroma of the baking pie filled the apartment. Everything felt cozy and right, and I dared to hope that maybe. But when the timer went off, and I took the pie out, letting it cool on the counter, my hopes were dashed again. After a few bites, his face contorted in displeasure. That was terrible. He spat. All my efforts, all the care I put into that pie, and this was the reaction I got. Tears filled my eyes, but I tried to hold them back. What was wrong with it? I managed to ask. Everything. You should know better. I didn't know what to say. I felt so small. The shattered pie on the floor seemed like a reflection of our relationship, broken and messy. Feeling defeated, I cleaned up the mess, the weight of years of unhappiness pressing down on me. It wasn't just about the pie. It was about everything, the lack of appreciation, the constant demands. I couldn't stay in that apartment. I needed to be with someone who understood, someone who cared. That's why I turned to William, my brother. He had always been my rock. Grabbing my bag and leaving a mess behind, I decided to spend the night at his place. William's home was a cozy 2-story building with a small garden in the front. I didn't even have to knock. He must have heard my car because he opened the door before I reached it, his face filled with concern. Betty, he started, pulling me into a comforting hug. What happened? Tears streamed down my face as I mumbled. He threw the pie made after a long day at work. He just threw it on the floor. William led me inside, settling me on the soft couch in his living room. Tell me everything, he said, handing me a cup of hot tea. Sipping a warm drink, I began to recount the events of the evening. As I spoke, memories of the past also surfaced. It wasn't just tonight, Will. It's been this way for years. I always thought things would change. Remember when we first met at Jenna's party? He was so charming then. William nodded. I remember, but their true colors always come out. I continued. You know, when we first got married, everything was great. We'd go on dates, but as the years went by, things changed. William's face tightened. He didn't start off this way. I shook my head. No, we had our disagreements, but it was never like this. Over the years, he just became more demanding. I don't know when I started feeling like I was walking on eggshells around him. You know, Mom and Dad had their issues, but Dad never treated Mom this way. I know, he replied, tears forming again. I thought I could change him, make him see how hurtful he was. But no matter what I did, William looked at me seriously. Betty, love doesn't work that way. You can't change someone who doesn't see a problem in their actions. I looked down, taking another sip of my tea. I remember when Mom and Dad would argue. There was a pause. Then William said, Betty, you deserve better. Remember when we were kids? We promised each other we'd always be there. I'm here for you now. You need to think about yourself. Taking in his words, the realization was growing within me. This wasn't the life I envisioned for myself. I can't keep living like this. It's time to make a change. William squeezed my hand. I'll be with you every step of the way. The morning light filtered through the curtains of William's guest room. I stretched. The decision to divorce Mark had brought with it a mixture of relief and apprehension. Walking downstairs, I found William already up, making breakfast in the kitchen. Morning, sis. He greeted me with a warm smile. Good morning, I replied, pulling up a chair at the dining table. He placed a plate of scrambled eggs and toast in front of me. You need to eat. Big day today. I nodded, taking a bite. I'm nervous, Will, but it's the right thing to do. And I'm right here with you. After breakfast, William drove me to the lawyer's office. As we parked, I took a deep breath, bracing myself for the steps ahead. Mrs. Harris was kind and showed through. Betty, I understand this is a difficult time for you. My job is to guide you through the legal process and make sure your interests are protected. Thank you, I whispered, feeling grateful for her support. The meeting was long, filled with paperwork and legalese. He simply seemed to have disappeared. This silence was unsettling. One evening, I expressed my concerns. It's strange. Mark hasn't reacted at all. No calls, no messages, nothing. It's like he's vanished. William looked thoughtful. Life continued its pace. I started looking for a new place to live. I wanted a fresh start, a home where I could rebuild my life without the shadows of the past. After a few weeks of searching, I found a beautiful house. It was spacious, and I felt a connection the moment I stepped in. This was my new beginning. William was ecstatic when he saw the place. It's perfect for you, Betty, a place to call your own. As we toured the house, I shared my plans with him. I want to paint the walls light blue, maybe have some plants by the windows. He chuckled, always the planner. It sounds wonderful. Moving in was a joyous occasion. With the help of William and a few friends, the house quickly started to feel like a home. Every evening after work, I'd try making new memories. However, one fateful evening as I returned home, I found the front door ajar. A chill ran down my spine. Pushing the door open, I stepped in cautiously. There, in the living room, sat Mark. My heart raced as I took in the scene before me. A sense of violation washed over me. This was my space, my sanctuary, and he had invaded it. What are you doing here, Mark? He looked up, his face showing a mix of smugness and defiance. Well, it's our house, isn't it? We're still married, Betty. But I bought this house after we separated. It has nothing to do with you. Doesn't matter. As your husband, I have every right to be here, he said, showing me his ID and marriage certificate. I was so sorry, Betty, as he had every right to be here. According to the documents, you need to leave, Mark. This is my home, not yours. Mark chuckled. Think again, sweetheart. I'll be staying here. And if you tried to kick me out, the audacity of his claim left me reeling. I felt trapped, cornered in my own home. But I couldn't let him see my fear. I needed to be strong. Fine, I said, trying to sound calm. Stay tonight, but tomorrow, I'm getting a lawyer, and we'll see who has the right to be here. Mark smirked. Bring it on. I'm not going anywhere. Feeling defeated, I retreated to my bedroom, locking the door behind me. I needed to come up with a plan. Grabbing my phone, I called William. Will, I said, tears forming. He's here at the house. He says he has a right to be here. William's voice was filled with anger and concern. Betty, I'm on my way. We'll sort this out. Hanging up, I tried to calm my racing heart. Mark's sudden reappearance and bold claims had taken me by surprise. But with William by my side, I felt a glimmer of hope. Within minutes, William arrived. I heard the two of them talking in hushed tones downstairs. The tension in the air was palpable. After what felt like an eternity, William came up to my room. Betty, there's something you need to know. He revealed a file with photos and documents. I had a feeling Mark might pull something like this. He stated with some relief. Thank you, I don't know what I would do without you, I replied. He hugged poor family, always stick together. His unwavering support helped me through it. Seeing the documents, he realized he had no ground to stand on. His smugness from the night before disappeared. This isn't over, Betty, he hissed as he left. With every passing day, the intrusion by Mark felt more like a distant memory, but the threat remained. One evening, as we sat in the living room, William started. Betty, I've been thinking. We need to be prepared for any moves Mark might make. He's unpredictable. I've been feeling the same. But what can we do? William paused, taking a deep breath. I've hired a private investigator. I wanted to know what Mark's been up to since the two of you separated. I looked at him in shock. A private investigator? Will, is that necessary? William sighed. I just have this gut feeling. I want to make sure we have all our bases covered. I understood William's concerns. His protective nature was one of the things I cherished most about him. All right, what did the detective find? William pulled out a folder from his bag. As he spread the photos and documents on the table, my heart sank. Some things looked familiar from our past life. One document caught my eye, a police report filed by a woman against Mark. He did this, I whispered, disbelief evident in my voice. William nodded gravely. It appears Mark's activities haven't been on the straight and narrow. I felt a whirlwind of emotions, anger, sadness, betrayal. I can't believe he sunk this low. William put a reassuring hand on mine. We'll get through this, Betty, together. A few days later, our preparation proved to be fortuitous. Bring up fabricated tales about our life together, reading aloud. Looking at me, William said, we are ready for this, Betty. He can't intimidate us. With William's support, we met with Mrs. Harris again. Her face remained unreadable. After a long pause, she finally said, we have a strong case here. Mark's claims are baseless. I'll draft their response highlighting Mark's illegal activities. Don't worry. William, sensing my anxiety, squeezed my hand. I won't let him hurt you anymore. Mrs. Harris swiftly drafted a response highlighting Mark's activities and questioning the credibility of his claims. Every day after that was a game of wait and watch. William and I spent many evenings going over the possibilities. Through it all, William's unwavering support gave me the strength to face each day. It was a rainy Tuesday evening. William and I were watching a movie when a knock echoed through the house. Standing there was a woman soaked to the bone, her eyes red from crying. Are you Betty? Yes, who are you? She took a deep breath. My name is Jenna. I was involved with Mark. My heart skipped a beat. Come in. Jenna began her story. I met Mark a few months ago. At first, he seemed charming, but soon he started showing his true colors. I heard about you and wanted to warn me. What could be worse than what I already knew? Jenna continued, tears streaming down her face. He became aggressive, possessive. He said things about you, about how you'd ruined his life, and he wanted revenge. William's face darkened. What kind of revenge? Jenna hesitated, looking down. The room was silent for a few minutes, the gravity of Jenna's words sinking in. Finally, William broke the silence. We need to do something about this. We can't let him continue to terrorize people. I nodded in agreement, feeling a newfound determination. We need to expose him. Let everyone know who he really is. Over the next few weeks, with Jenna's help, William and I gathered more evidence against Mark, from his financial misdeeds to his numerous affairs. It wasn't just me he had hurt. There were others just like Jenna. With everything we had, William suggested we go to the police. It's time he faces the consequences of his actions. Walking into the police station, I felt a mix of fear and hope. Would they take action? Detective Rogers was assigned to our case. As we laid out our evidence, he listened intently, occasionally asking questions. Finally, after what felt like hours, he spoke. This is substantial evidence. We'll investigate further, looking into his illegal activities. The next few days were a blur. The police acted swiftly, arresting Mark on multiple charges. The news spread, and soon the monster I had once called my husband was unmasked to the world. With Mark behind bars, I should have felt safer. And while there was certainly a sense of relief, there was also the constant fear of what Mark's friends might do. One day, as I was returning from work, I noticed something odd. My mail was scattered all over the porch, and the front door looked like someone tried to tamper with it. Panic surged. Could this be one of Mark's allies? I immediately called William. Will, I think someone tried to break in. His voice was firm. I'll be right over. I waited inside my car until William arrived. Surveying the scene, he confirmed my suspicions. It looks like an attempted break-in. Over the next few days, William and I worked on improving the safety of the house, installing security cameras and an advanced alarm system. One evening, the alarm suddenly blared. Rushing to the monitor, we saw a man skulking around the property. I felt a rush of gratitude towards William. His foresight had prevented another potential disaster. Betty, we've got the intruder in custody. He claims he was sent by Mark, but we're still confirming the details. This confirmed my worst fears. Days later, I got a call from Jenna. There's something you should know. She hesitated before speaking. Mark's been reaching out to people from prison. He's been trying to spread lies about you. I gritted my teeth. Thank you, Jenna. He won't get away with this. That evening, William had an idea. Betty, we need to turn the tables. We've got evidence, Jenna's testimony, and a lot more. Let's go public. The next week, numerous reporters eager to hear my side of the story. As I stepped up to the podium, my heart pounded. Hello, everyone. Today, I want to share my story not just to expose Mark's cruelty, but to give hope to all those who've been in abusive relationships. Every eye focused on me. When I finished, a report asked, "Do you believe Mark is still a threat?" I replied confidently, "Yes, but I won't let him or anyone else intimidate me any longer." Another report asked, "How do you feel about him now?" I paused for a moment. My video on social media was trending. For someone to have so much hate, messages poured in from all over. It was clear that by speaking out, that evening as I sat with William, I took back my power. William smiled warmly. "You always had it, Betty. You just needed a little push." The next morning, I got some news. Remember the intruder? How could I forget? Well, the court has sentenced him, and with all the evidence stacked against him, he'll be locked up for a long time. Relief washed over me. That's good to hear. And there's more, he continued. Mark's been transferred to a high-security prison. With his recent antics and connections, he won't be coming out anytime soon. I hugged William tight. "Thank you for everything, for being there when I felt alone." William smiled. Family sticks together. My life started to regain its rhythm. I reconnected with friends, started a support group for victims of abuse, and even began dating again. On my birthday, I held a small get-together. As I looked around at the faces, William, Jenna, my new friends, and old ones, the wounds of the past were healing, replaced by the joy of new memories. Late into the night, after everyone had left, William sat down next to me. "You've done well, Betty." I looked at him, tears glistening. With a little help from my friends, he chuckled. Always looking back at this ordeal, especially his attempt to claim my house, makes my blood boil. He tried to steal my peace, my security, the very foundation I was building for my future. So, Reddit, after everything you've read, do you think I handled this situation the right way? Should I have done anything differently? I'm open to your opinions and want to know if you would have approached things the same. Let me know your thoughts. I value your perspectives.